What a weekend HoopsFest was. It was all kinds of fun out west, and now we get set into regular programming in round 2 of this NBL season. It's only a couple of days away. We're back with you on NBL Now on this Tuesday morning. Joel Peterson and Damon Lowery. Good to see. Where on earth do we find you this morning, Damon?
JP, top of the morning to you, man. I'm coming at you live, man, from sunny Gold Coast, where I'm up here doing a 3x3 Oceania camp.
Lovely. There's worse places to be, I'm sure. It looks absolutely glorious in the background. It's lovely to see your face. It was a great weekend out at HoopsFest. So many intriguing games to kick us off in the season. I think maybe the most interesting one came at the last game. Kings 36ers on Sunday. It was wild. Kings got off to a hot start. 36ers rallied back. They led in the last quarter. Then the Kings ended up taking that away from them. What were your takeaways from what was a pretty intriguing contest?
Man, I love that game. Round 1 did not disappoint at all. The Sydney-Adelaide game, and let me just say this, Joe. I had Adelaide in my top 6. I don't know how many of the other so-called experts did that, but I really liked that team, and that was prior to Montrezl Harrell showing up. So I thought the Sydney Kings, with all the firepower they have and that ridiculously deep bench, I thought they just kind of, in the end, just ran over the top of Adelaide. But the Adelaide 36ers are going to be a major problem as they gel. Montrez only just got in the country. They got to work out the kinks with Isaac Humphries and how he fits into the whole scheme. But I thought that game was a quality game for round 1.
I want to talk to you about the depth of the teams in a second, but when we talk about Montrezl Harrell, of course, one of the big talking points out of the game was the warning that he copped for inciting the crowd. That was later rescinded. When you saw that happen and you saw his reaction, what was your reaction?
I went straight to my notebook. I was already taking notes because that referee was about to get an almighty spray, because you just can't have that, man. Let that be a lesson to all you other referees out there. Let the players engage with the crowd. We want to see personalities, and everybody knows Montrez from his NBA days. That dude is 100% enthusiastic, and that is exactly what the league needs. In the 9,000 Adelaide supporters, when they see him live, they're going to lose their mind.
Yeah, as long as it's done in a respectful way, which I thought it certainly was. So it did seem like a little bit of an overstep. Hey, so Jalen Galloway didn't play a lot for that Kings team, and we've talked about their depth. But you look across the league, and you made the point to me, there are so many deep teams. This is going to be a little bit of a headache for coaches to sort out rotations and that kind of thing. How do you see that playing out throughout the course of the season?
JP, I don't like it, man. I just don't like it. It's too much talent to not see him on the floor. Now, we've seen Dean Vickerman and his Melbourne United teams play 10 guys in a quarter. Like, you can't get an MVP from the Melbourne United for that very reason, because guys not on the floor long enough. It's just simple as that. We got to get expansion. Hey, Larry, listen here, man. We need you, man. We need Gold Coast. We need Canberra. We need Darwin, because we cannot have guys of Jalen Galloway's caliber playing 3 minutes. And like in Brian Gorgian, man, what's he supposed to do, JP? Look at his team. I thought he played the best defense on Jalen Adams of anybody. He took him out the game when he was hotter than fish grease because he had to get other dudes in the game. Now, guys going to have to adjust and adapt and kind of, follow suit and wait till their name is called. But, man, that's a tough ask.
It's going to be an interesting watch to see how that unfolds. And Jalen Galloway, I think, he'll have his moment. There'll be a game where he comes off the bench probably before long, hits a couple of threes, and then he stays in the picture. But, Brian Gorgian's at the head of the snake in that regard. But, John Ridley's got a few of the same problems. Justin Tatum's got a few of the same problems. Dean Vickerman seems to always have that problem. Great problem to have, but it is still a problem. And you've still got to work through that and try and keep guys happy.
And that's the thing, keeping guys happy. Guys don't want to just have a moment. They want multiple moments. They want moment consistency. And guess what? In NBL 25, with only 10 teams in the league, it's just not going to happen unless your last name is Cotton.
We kick off the next round 2, of course, a throwdown on Thursday night, Southeast Melbourne and Melbourne United. It's going to be a really interesting game. Southeast Melbourne, we know they can score. They've got all kinds of highlight reel operators, and that Melbourne United team is rock solid and came out of the blocks with a solid win against Tassie on the opening Thursday of the season. Let's talk Southeast as they head into this game. What do you need to see from them coming off that opening round loss against Perth as they start to get really into their season?
First of all, I need to see Jordy Hunter on the floor more than 20 minutes. He was sensational in that round one game, but he only played the 20 minutes. He's got to be out there for 30 minutes. It's just as simple as that. They don't really have that bag-up center guy, and I feel like he's that mobile, he's that talented, that he's got an advantage, I think, over Marcus Lee and Rob Lowe. That's the side. I need to see all Southeast Melbourne Phoenix players playing defense like they give a damn, Joe. Like their basketball lives depend on it. Because right now, they've already got the reputation. The reputation from the preseason is now preceding them, Joe. Everybody's talking. The streets are talking, man. You guys can't play deep. So they need to take some pride. I know Angus Glover is probably, and Matt Kenyon is their best defensive players, and Jordy Hunter is a good rim protector. But as a collective, they got to pull their socks up.
Keanu Pinder gave him a few headaches the other night, just splashing in 3 balls at will. So did Bryce Cotton. But what did you make of Pinder adding? We know that he's got the propensity to shoot threes, but what does that mean for his game if he can do it more regularly?
Oh, man. I love the evolution of Keanu. When he first started shooting threes in Cairns every now and then, it didn't look good. It's like this, no, don't shoot that. And over time, he's obviously put the work in. His stroke looks a little bit better, and he's got the confidence to shoot it. And if he can do that, he's already got one of the best motors in the league. Him and Xavier Cooks, I feel, are 1-2 when it comes to just having a NASCAR kind of engine. But, man, if he's going to add that 3-ball to it, he doesn't have to shoot 50% every game. But if he can drop 2 here, 3 occasionally, how do you guard this guy now? He's quicker than you. He's more athletic than you. He's stronger than you. He plays with a relentless rage that I love. So this 3-ball now, man, just makes him almost a complete player.
He's back in action on Friday night against the Sydney Kings. One of the surprise performances out of the weekend was the New Zealand Breakers, who got the better of the Brisbane Bullets. They almost coughed it up. Bullets came back toward the end of that game. They were down 26. They were down 23 halfway through that final quarter, the Bullets, but the Breakers did get the job done. What did you make of that New Zealand performance, and do you think it's sustainable?
Man, I got to admit, I did not have New Zealand ranked very high coming into this season, but after seeing the way they played, first of all, obviously the human blur, PJC, can make anything happen. But he's now got shooters on either side. He's got Matt Mooney, who's a knockdown shooter. I got to stop using this phrase, knockdown. He's got a great shooter in Matt Mooney. Now, if Mojave King is going to start hitting 3 balls like this, now he's an extra problem. So now I just watched him spread the floor, man. He's pushing in transition. He's got all the size, not to mention Sam Meninga, sorry. You guys knew about Mel Meninga, did you, Joe?
Both very good.
Yeah, but Sam Meninga's now stretching the floor shooting threes. And what I really like is Coach Pettery. Even though he's never been a head coach before, he's bringing that European flavor, Joe. That Finnish flavor to New Zealand. I'm seeing some funky European stuff happening out there on the floor, man. It looks great. I think it's sustainable, and I might have to revise my top 6.
Yeah, of course, they got Freddie Gillespie to come back, and yeah, it looks like it suits Parker Jackson Cartwright, the style that they're playing at the moment. Saturday night, the late game after the Breakers beat the Bullets was Cairns and the Hawks. I want to talk about the Hawks in a second, but Adam Ford said he believes that the Snakes' issues are fixable around shot selection and some of those kind of things. Do you agree with him?
Nope. No, I don't. Sorry, Adam. Look, he went in without his point guard and backup point guard and back up to the backup point guard. Yeah, I mean, come on, you're going to struggle until you got your whole team there. We wasn't really looking at a Cairns-type band team, in my opinion. Rob Edwards brought the ball up the floor, a great scorer from the great state of Michigan, but not a point guard. And Pedro Bradshaw is going to take us some time, and I've learned my lesson from last year. It's the Christian Doolittle rule for me, Joe, because remember how he got off to a slow start last year and the streets started mumbling?
Scoreless a couple of times.
Yeah, well, I'm not going to get gassed up again just because Pedro got off to a slow start in game 1. Even though Forty was trying to get him to shoot it, we heard it across the broadcast telling him to, shoot the ball. They need their whole team there first. And once everybody's there, I will assess them accordingly. But at that time, They just simply did not have enough for that juggernaut out of the Illawarra.
We were watching that game courtside. I was sitting with our very own Liam Santamaria and looking, and it was, a 9-point, 10-point game for a lot of it. And, halfway through the first quarter, we look away, and then we look back at the scoreboard, and it's about 20 points, and it got away from them quickly. But the one thing that stood out watching that courtside was that Hawks front line of Froling, Days, Olbrich, you're bringing Mason Peatling in off the bench. Their bigs, they are going to be a problem for some teams.
Oh, man. Good grief. Hey, all Hawk bias to the side. Those guys, I don't see a hole. I don't see a defensive hole. I don't see an offensive hole. They might have three of the best shooters in the league, in H.J. Lee. Trey Kell, who didn't shoot the ball well, but we know what he can do. Tyler Harvey. Then you got Toddy Blanchfield. But the bigs, though, Sam Frawling teasing me with his 19-8. Yeah, I thought he was great, though. Lockie Albrecht getting rebounds, pushing in transition. And Darius, paydays. This dude, man, wait till he gets really heated up. I'm telling you, man, I picked him to win the whole thing. I didn't say nothing crazy like Rucker said. I'm not walking anywhere from state to state, but it's going to take some beating to beat the Hawks.
Hey, going to be a scary prospect. I need to hit you up on one thing before we get out of here, though. You took issue with their uniforms in your column on nbl.com.au yesterday, and you didn't like the Illawarra red. It was a bit of a fan favourite online, and I know the guys on broadcast were very excited about it. Posit your case. Why didn't you like that, what I thought was a pretty nice Illawarra kit?
Well, obviously playing in those uniforms for 4 seasons, we never had the tomato red. You say tomato, I say tomato. I didn't like it. It was in the white stripes on the back of it. It didn't all the way go all the way around. It looked like a Santa Claus. It looked like a Santa Claus suit. I didn't like it. I didn't see any fierce hawk with the talons and the fang. None of that. I didn't see it, so it felt a little bit delicate to my liking. Considering that far from delicate.
A bit restrained for Damon Lowery's time. What did you think about some of the special uniforms across the course of the week? I mean, the 36ers on Sunday were eye-catching. I thought Melbourne's on Thursday night were absolutely glorious, that sort of Orlando Magic style uniform. Are you with me there, or are you disagreeing on those as well?
Now, the Melbourne United, I did have something to say about their uniforms. I did like the Orlando Magic pinstripes. I did like that. Wasn't a big fan of the imp. And also saw the Sydney Kings just said, what the hell? Let's just put a K on the front. I mean, what are we doing in the creative department? Just a K? And I said, Joe, what would make that better for the Kings? If Bull Quall changed his number to 9, then he'd be K9, a pit bull. You see, that'd be pretty good. Now, also like Adelaide's maroon kind of colors. I still like they throwback today. I hope they trot those out again. But I like that deep kind of maroon color. So,
yep. They've got a little blueprint to work there with Adelaide, that they've got probably 2 of the best uniforms in the league in their throwback and then that maroon one. And they've got the most boring uniform in the league from day to day. So let's just try and spice that up a little bit, 36ers. Damon, enjoy the Gold Coast. Good to do business with you and look forward to talking to you across the weekend.
My man.
Damon Lowery with us on NBL Now. Thanks for your company, nbl.com.au and the NBL app for all the latest throughout the week.